What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Now today I'm going to be showing you guys one of my favorite decks to use in grand challenges. Now of course this deck can also use in classic challenges if you guys have the cards I use in this deck. There are two legendary cards in this deck, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that now. I have the Golem, the Ice Spirit, the Mega Minion, the Log, the Inferno Dragon, the Furnace, 2 Elixir Melee Goblins, and some arrows. This deck works extremely well in grand challenges. I always get at least 8 wins using it. And just the other day I got a 9-win chest opening up a princess. Now I wasn't too thrilled about this princess because now I'm only halfway to the level 3 princess. And I really wanted the graveyard spell instead. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you know how bad I've been waiting for the graveyard spell to show up in my shop. However, I still haven't gotten it yet. So you will see a video on the graveyard as soon as it comes to my shop. Hopefully it's soon. Drop a like on this video right now and maybe I'll get the graveyard spell tomorrow in my shop. I do highly doubt that. However, a like on the video would definitely help me get over it. Anyway, back to this deck. This deck does work extremely well in grand challenges like I've been saying so far. The only time I use it is in grand challenges, so I don't really have any replays to show you right now. I am at 4,148 trophies. I lost my last 2 battles trying out a P.E.K.K.A. double prince deck for a video, but it did go horribly wrong and I decided not to upload that video. So because I'm already down some trophies, this deck is all about grand challenges, and that's also what this video is about as well. We're gonna go ahead and start a grand challenge today for 100 gems and see how far we can get. So right here we do have a fresh grand challenge, 0 wins and 0 losses. Let's get into our first battle and see what we can do with this deck. To start things off, I usually drop down a Furnace between my towers down either lane, whichever one I decide to go for, because as long as he doesn't counter my fire spirits, they will get at least 1 shot off on the tower every single spawn. However, he has a level 7 Mega Minion coming down our left lane currently, followed by a level 7 Giant. And I don't have an Inferno Tower in this deck, however I do have the Inferno Dragon, which does a lot of damage against Giants, Golems, and Lava Hounds. But this guy also has a Graveyard spell, so I'm going to drop down my Log for now. And now that the Giant is taken out, hopefully the tower can finish off the rest of the skeletons. So I'm also going to drop down another Furnace behind my tower right here. He went ahead and arrowed my Mega Minion and those Fire Spirits right there, also doing some damage to my Inferno Dragon, which was a very good arrow by him, but now my Fire Spirits are going off on his tower, doing quite a bit of damage. I am extremely full on Elixir, however, so I'm going to drop down my first Golem of the match. I'm not quite in double Elixir, and you really don't have to be to drop down a Golem in this deck, because all the other cards are really cheap, allowing you to counter whatever he drops. And right here, I will drop down some arrows on all these skeletons right here, however, they do a lot of damage to my tower. I was hoping the Inferno Dragon would take out his tower just a little bit quicker, but he did have a Zap spell, which reset the charge, and the Giant did tank for those skeletons long enough to take out my tower. But over on the left, I have a full health Golem and a full health Mega Minion, which just took down that left tower. And now they're advancing towards his King Tower, so this might look like a 3-crown victory. Both of the towers have locked onto my Golem. I'm going to drop down a Log to take out all these skeletons right here. The Mega Minion is still on that tower. The Golems are doing some damage as well, and we might actually get a 3-crown in this battle. So because we have this 3-crown victory in the bag, I'm going to drop down my Golem headed towards that tower. He tries everything he can to counter it, but it's not going to work. Throwing some arrows to take out the skeletons, and as the Golem blows up, down goes the tower as well with my 3-crown victory. So as you guys have already seen, this deck works out extremely well. I'm not claiming to be the owner of this deck, but I did come up with it by myself just randomly. Just picked a few cards, threw them all together in one deck, and it has worked out for me extremely well. Now people have probably used this deck before because the Golem, Inferno Dragon, Mega Minion decks are really popular, but what I'm trying to say is that I didn't copy this deck from anyone. I made it all on the spot from my head. So let's go back out and do another grand challenge battle and see if we can get our second win and maybe another 3-crown. And just like the start of last battle, I'm going to drop down my Furnace between my towers going down the left lane once again. The Fire Spirits do get off 1 shot on that tower like they do quite often. I'm also going to throw down an Ice Spirit because I have nothing else to drop right now. But he does have a level 7 Elixir Collector behind his towers right now. The Ice Spirit does allow both of those Fire Spirits to go off on that tower. And with 30 seconds, we've already done 600 damage to that tower. However, he does have a level 4 Golem of his own, but I do have my Inferno Dragon to counter that. It's really nice to have an Inferno Dragon in your deck because 1, it can be used as offense, and 2, you don't need to lug around an Inferno Tower either. So the Golem is just now crossing the bridge, however, it's already blown up. My Golem makes it to the tower, gets off 1 shot, and then blows up as well. He throws in a Miner, which really doesn't do much. However, it did distract for all those skeletons that did spawn. Here we have found yet again another graveyard spell user. Let's throw down a Log to counter all these skeletons, the Witch, and that Prince right there. Drop down an Ice Spear on the Prince just to discharge him. My Inferno Dragon finishes him off and the Witch as well. Now we're going to drop down our second Golem behind our King Tower. He dropped down yet again another Elixir Collector behind his right lane tower. And here comes his Golem once again. So I do have my Inferno Dragon ready. I'm going to drop it right now so anything he drops locks on my Golem instead of the Inferno Dragon. The Golem does get taken out before it even makes it to my tower. I'm not expecting my Golem to do too much damage over there, but he is on the tower, does a little bit of damage with his hits, and the explosion does a lot of damage as well. However, the Golemites do take out the tower, and now we have a 1-crown lead. So dropping down this Furnace to keep that Golem away from my tower. Threw down a Log to take out all those skeletons as well, and the Miner is already taken out by my Inferno Dragon. Let's drop down another Golem in between the towers right here. Throw down some arrows to counter his graveyard spell, even though it doesn't matter. 1 second left, match is over. We had that win in the bag. So just like that, another win in a grand challenge with this really amazing deck. But why ended on 2 wins? Let's go back out and get our 3rd win of the video. video. This time we have a golem in our starting hand instead of a furnace, so I went ahead and dropped down him behind my king tower as this guy threw down a miner and a goblin barrel on my left lane. All I did to counter that was throw down a log to take out the goblins and allowed my tower to finish off that miner. But this guy does have a furnace of his own, so I'm going to drop down my furnace between my towers, and here he has an inferno tower. I also threw down my mega minion in there who's going straight for the tower right now, but he is smart, drops down a skeleton army to make sure my mega minion didn't get off any shots on that tower. Now this will be an interesting battle because this guy does have an inferno tower, which is a really good counter to this deck. It's actually the only thing I struggle with when using this deck, so make sure you guys do look out for inferno towers, or maybe figure out a card to replace in the deck that can counter an inferno tower. However, I went ahead and threw down another golem down his left lane. I'm also going to drop down my mega minion for now, as well as my inferno dragon. We get through all of the defenses, and now all these troops are running towards his left lane tower, but the minion horde will take out my inferno dragon and finish off the golemites. So down goes another furnace to make sure all these minions get taken out, and also drop down some goblins on his miner. The tower finishes off the miner, and no more damage was done to our tower. There is so much going on over here in the left lane. Sorry I couldn't commentate for a second. I did receive a phone call which interrupted the battle, but as you guys saw, we didn't even make it to his tower, so not much went on. He's going to continue to spam down his miners, minion, and goblin barrel, which right here I can't do anything about. He gets our tower down to 16 hit points, which means he's about to win the battle. He cycled to his miner, sent it at our tower, and won the battle. Now, although we did get our first loss with that deck, that was a good battle to watch because it showed you guys how that deck is countered. And Inferno Tower does extremely well against that deck, so maybe you guys might want to figure out a way to implement something into this deck that could essentially counter the Inferno Tower and make this deck a little bit easier to use. But I did want to leave that battle in the video just to give you guys an example of how this deck can be beaten. That guy was using quite a spam deck with a skeleton army, miner, princess, and a minion horde. He also had a goblin barrel and a furnace, and of course the Inferno Tower that always stopped my golem. However, I will be finishing this grand challenge with this deck, so if you guys would like to see the results of this grand challenge, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at JewishLewis. I will post the results on there. But that's going to wrap things up for today. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like down below, and let me know what you think of this deck down in the comment section as well. I'm not exactly sure what to tell you if you don't have an Inferno Dragon. I guess you can replace the log with the Zap if you want. If you don't have the Inferno Dragon, maybe throw in an Inferno Tower instead, or some minions, or maybe even a minion horde. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
No!